Welcome to the Cigar Rebel community, where indulgence meets authenticity. This is more than a podcast. It's a gathering place for those who savor life's luxuries with unapologetic passion. Here we celebrate the fine art of living through rich flavors, bold spirits, exquisite cigars, and unforgettable experiences.
Welcome, Cigar Rebels, to the podcast. I'm Mel.
And I'm Kevin, and we're coming to you live tonight on a cold November evening. It is definitely a cool evening here. We've been traveling for several days and got back to Texas to some cool, chilly weather. But we're coming to you tonight with a topic that we think you guys are going to love.
Yes, 100%. I cannot believe we're in November, almost mid-November at this point. So going with that and going with presents and stuff on everyone's mind, whether you are shopping for a seasoned aficionado or someone maybe who is just starting to learn about cigars, we have some great gifts that will be great stocking stuffers to everyone on your list.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mel, let's get ready and line up some ideas. However, first, why don't you go ahead and let us know what we're smoking tonight?
Yeah, so tonight we are smoking the Sumatra Royale by Elevated Humidor. It has a Sumatra Havana wrapper, a Sumatra Habano binder, Jalapo Ligero, and Condego Seco fillers.
Yep, absolutely. So what are you getting on the cold draw? We cut it a few moments ago, right before we got on the air. So
for me, right off of just that first cold draw, I get some earthiness, some sweetness.
I get a little bit of a rye.
I was going to say a little bit of a rye. There's a tiny bit maybe of saltiness to it, but it's not on the forefront of that cold draw.
There's definitely the saltiness and the rye that's there, but definitely one of my favorite cigars out of our line has that boldness that's there. And so before we get too much further, why don't we go ahead and light this cigar, which is brought to us by Big Sky Cigars.
Back in 1905, under Montana skies, 107 factories rolled smoke butterflies. Reminders of ranchers' life, one and grin. Now Big Sky Cigars is bringing that spirit back in.
Yellowstone River to the bold bighorn flow. Madison, Beirut, Blackfoot, we know. Leave from Nicaragua, San Andres to Ecuador rolled up.
And every box soul helps our veterans men. With warriors and quiet waters, we lend a friend's hand. It's heritage burning in every draw. Big Sky Cigars, Montana's pride and law. Big Sky Cigar, where heritage flows will ever draw. Find your rare red Big Sky Cigar to pop.
Ask your local tobacconist about Big Sky Cigars today. If they do not carry them, shops can reach out to Brad Frazier to set up new accounts.
As always, thank you to Big Sky. So now that we have our cigars lit, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about our first couple of draws.
Yeah, absolutely. Good evening, John. Glad you're with us tonight. First couple of draws on this, that rye is there, but at a little bit more bolder. Normally, I don't get normally if I pick it up on the cold draw, that flavor really kind of goes away once it's lit. On this particular cigar, I feel like the rye and the saltiness almost increased.
Yeah.
For me a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. Kind of earthy sweetness I got very heavily on the cold draw is kind of dissipated a little bit now that we've lit it. So we'll see how what we get off of it as we move forward. So before jumping into our lists, let's go ahead and set the beautiful stage, which is the holidays coming up. So you have the lights are twinkling everywhere. You have your beautiful tree and all of your stockings hung up around your fire. If you have a lit fire, it's going to be nice and cackling and being just like a Christmas song.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a nice scene, Mel. We were at a Fogo de Chao last night for an event, and they had the Christmas tree up and a little fireplace going. Yeah. Looked exactly like your description there. The only difference, or the only thing I would add, is maybe a nice bourbon or a chai latte to sip on would be amazing in that scene.
Yeah. And maybe for you, I'm kind of surprised you didn't suggest a fireplace lit so you could have a cigar with that.
Yeah, absolutely. An outdoor fireplace, maybe, right? One outside. Don't know if we want to light one in the house just yet.
So the real question is, why are what stocking stuffers are particularly relevant for cigar smokers?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, unlike buying a cabinet or a desktop humidor, or maybe a box of premium cigars that the cigar enthusiast in your life loves, stocking stuffers are compact, they're affordable, and they can really be a great way to encourage the hobby and let the cigar enthusiast in your life know that you appreciate their hobby and passion for it.
Right. And for the recipient, it's a little bit less about another cigar and more about improving the experience. So the cutter is going to give you a clean draw.
Absolutely.
Or the travel case for taking cigars on the go, especially like for us, if you travel as much as we do. Like, those are meaningful gifts.
Yeah, absolutely. And also from a brand or a retailer's perspective, these smaller price point items are really great for cross-selling or gifting or holiday promotions. They fill this last-minute gift idea that people walk into the shop and need. And let's be honest, it's not about upselling the customer. It's about making sure that they have what they need to enjoy the premium cigar. The last thing you want to do is help select 3 or 4 cigars for someone to give their dad or their husband on Christmas morning, but they don't have a cutter or lighter because maybe they were traveling to a destination and didn't think to bring one.
Yeah.
And now they've got these amazing premium cigars that was a wonderful gift, but no way to light one, no one to cut one.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first key takeaway is think accessory, functionality, and thoughtfulness.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and dive into our categories.
Yeah, so tonight we're going to break down a few different categories of gifts that really make up our cigar gift giving guide. And to be fair, we'll provide some great stocking stuffers and a few other large gift ideas that you can truly bless and encourage the cigar lover in your life's passion.
Yes, and so for each, we'll go ahead and discuss what makes them good, and why the recipient will appreciate them, and also how to pick one, especially if you don't know a lot about cigars or even if you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Our first category are cutters. Now, every cigar smoker needs one. A precise cutter or a precision cutter ensures a clean draw. And that can be everything from a straight cut to a perfect cut or a guillotine. It could be a punch or a V cut. There's a lot of different cutters out there on the market, and everything from cheap to expensive.
And that's one of the biggest questions when you are looking at a cutter is, do you want a cheaper plastic cutter that is going to be perfect for traveling, or if you're heading to a friend's deck or house or garage, or are you going to be looking for something a little bit more expensive? So what is going to be that perfect accessory for on the deck or at home?
Yep, absolutely. It's a perfect question for us tonight, right? Is it something for travel? Is it something to really be a nice accessory on the deck? And so since we've been traveling for the past week, we have a couple of our favorite cutters with us. One of them I'm just going to show you to you guys is this cheap little Vertigo. It's called a perfect cut. So it's flat on the back. It's got a dual blade guillotine cutter on the other side. This gives you a perfect cut to cut off the cap. It's a little bit of a struggle with the Torpedo or a Bellicoso, but for a great pro round cigar, it's absolutely easy to cut it, get it cut every time, easy draw.
Yep.
We also have in the car a nice V cut. This is the same plastic cutter that's just so easy to use, and really makes traveling easy when it comes to cigars.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are going to make some perfect gifts for traveling or running to a friend's house. On the other hand, Lotus and Vertigo, our preferred brand, kind of like we talked a little bit about, they offer a variety of going to be those higher end cutters, and they're going to be in a multitude of shapes, sizes, colors, metals. Just there's so much variety to different cutters that a lot of people are not expecting or anticipating. So we're going to cover some of those as well.
Yeah, everything everything from a large V-cut or straight cut, a smaller, more portable one. You can really find a nice plastic cutter from Vertigo for anywhere between about $2.99 and $7, which is easy. And if you get into the larger, nicer, the metals, the different materials, everything from $29 to $99, that the reality is it doesn't matter which one you get, they fit perfectly in the foot of the stocking.
Yeah.
Which so perfect stocking stuffer.
Yeah. And so total side note, when you talk about stocking stuffers versus gifts, I would love to know. So like growing up, the stockings were like cheaper gifts. You know, they were candy, and then there were some cheaper items my parents would throw in there. And then our gifts were more of like the more expensive, like real gift. But I had a couple of friends that was the opposite. Their stockings were always chocked full of more expensive things, and stuff around the tree was a little bit less expensive, less the main gift if you had one of that. So I don't know if you had one way or the other when you were growing up, but for me, we would like argue about it as kids. Like, no, the stockings are like, you know, what kids do. Like,
yeah, absolutely. So I would love to know your thoughts, those live in the chat. So stocking stuffers, were they the expensive gifts or were they more the cheaper gifts in the thing? So growing up in my family, stockings were really for candy and maybe a couple little trinkets. As the kids were younger, as you know, Mel, we would have some cheaper mid kind of level gifts, some gift cards in there along with candy. But I do know I have some great friends that the stocking was expensive gifts.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to know for you guys, are they wrapped? I think if it's in the stocking, unwrap's the way to go.
See, I'm different. I think it should. If it can be wrapped, it still should be wrapped in the stocking. So not everything, but if it can be wrapped, you should wrap it.
And I disagree. The stocking is the wrapper. So we would love to know from you guys and go from there. One great comment. So let's talk lighter.
Yeah, I was just about to say, going back to our topic, now we're going to go ahead and talk about some lighters. So another item, easily something that a cigar smoker is going to need, is going to be a good lighter that has a proper burn. So for lighters, we've talked about this in other podcasts, but just a little refresher. Butane, torch style, and the only decision is a smaller plastic one for compact travel, or if you're going to be looking at a large metal one to place out on the deck or out back.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, Mel and I have been traveling the last 7-8 days or so. We were in Central America doing some business things. Finally made it back to the States earlier today, really, over the late last night, early this morning. And so really, we've been traveling with several different lighters. And so I want to show you some of our smaller plastic lighters that we went with. This lighter is by Vertigo. It's a very easy to use single flame, cheaper lighter, about $14.99 at our shop. Then we have these little that a lot of cigar shops have, or brands that are branded, Liberty single flame Vertigo lighter. Very easy to use. I think we sell these for $4.99 when we do at events or at our shop. And then there is my favorite, and the first person that introduced this to me, I can't talk lately. We started using this because we saw on the Ashholes podcast Kiltman using this a couple of years ago when he first got on. So it is the Cyclone by Vertigo. If you couldn't tell, Vertigo and Lotus is our preferred brand for cutters and lighters. This is an absolutely amazing lighter that just always works, and it's a quad jet. So you can get singles, dual, triple, or quads, all pretty inexpensive for that.
Yeah, and just to say, so that first lighter that Kevin held up, that is one of my favorite lighters of all time. There's nothing overly fancy about it, but I've had that lighter for probably now 2 years, and it's almost like still new. I've never had any issues with it, and so I love it. And it's, like you said, it's not expensive. I'm always worried it's lost, and then it's like, you just buy another one, but it wouldn't be the same, although it would be. So
absolutely.
Similar to cutters. Oh,
yeah. So before we jump there, Leslie mentioned her mom had a stocking that was small and said no candy, just cash on it, which is amazing. Lifesaver holiday box and the stockings when she was a kid, or Actually, I believe that is he. I
Oh,
apologize. Said, with you, Kilt Man, we have 6 grandkids, 5 are girls. Money, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. That's hilarious. Just want to catch up on comments real quick. Make sure that we're responding to all of these. And here we go.
All right. A lighter he got from the
Corns.
Funny.
That is hilarious. So we absolutely love Lotus and Vertigo, as I mentioned. You do love that lighter. You travel. She'll lose it about 3 times a week and ask me if I know where it is. And so we've got to stop everything and find it. And we sell them in the shop all the time, and they're $9.99. So it's not like she couldn't replace it. But for some reason, she's got her heart set on that one.
It's meaningful.
So it's meaningful. So what are some other options that are available for a nice lighter, Mel?
So I mean, there's a lot of different options. There's going to be single to quad flames, like you had talked about. And then there's going to be some that actually come with accessories attached to them. So some of them are going to have cutters with them. Some of them are going to have cigar stands. Some of them are going to have draw tools. All of these are included. And, lighters are kind of like cutters. They can range from $11.99 up to $100 plus, depending on, how much is that DuPont lighter? Like $1,000 or something like that?
For sure. But, my opinion is you can get into some of the higher lighters. Again, I've had Calibri, Zycar. I really do believe in and trust the Lotus and Vertigo. And they have everything from as low as $1.99 for a punch cutter and about $7 for a lighter, all the way up through the $100 range for just about anything that you want, style. They also really range from small to really large desktop versions that are several pounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's just crazy. And then there's the small to the large for the tabletop. So if you have a recipient that you are gifting for that is going to be traveling a lot, you're probably going to want to choose more of a compact torch and or dual blade cutter, so they can have both of those items just on one thing. They don't have to overpack their accessories that they're taking with it. But if they're at home a lot and something more luxurious or engraved for them is going to increase the value for that gift. And again, with traveling, Kevin and I say it a lot. Whenever we travel, we never take any cigar accessories that are too expensive, just because you could lose them, or you might be smoking with a new group of friends. One of them asks, hey, can I borrow your lighter? And then they might accidentally stick it in their pocket and walk up with it. So that's something that when we travel, that's something that we do. Not everybody has to do that, but we generally take cheaper things or stuff that's not as meaningful to us, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. We were actually in Honduras just a couple of days ago, and someone borrowed one of the lighters that I really love, and it's an inexpensive lighter. And we never saw it again.
Yeah.
I got involved in another conversation. I don't believe they were intentionally taking it. They probably stuck it in their pocket and walked off. But definitely take something that you're willing to lose when you travel. So that's a great transitional point for us to begin to really talk about travel, portable storage, and some humidity solutions. Many cigar smokers have more cigars than they can actually smoke in a sitting. And a lot of us like to travel with them, right? And so small travel humidors, travel cases, humidity packs, or even smart hygrometers are very, very useful and great stocking stuffer ideas. I truly love the Govee Bluetooth or Wi-Fi hygrometers. They're excellent add-on gifts, and they fit perfectly into any stocking, wrapped or unwrapped.
Right. The other thing that could be good to gift someone is going to be a small 10 count humidor or a pack of 5 cigars that's going to be sealed and have a humidified pack in there. You can even bundle and give them, some humidity packs to take with them. So
absolutely
pick up things that suit their lifestyle, whether they are traveling, commuting, flights, vacation, however it is that they travel.
Yeah, and so let us give you a quick top 5 travel humidors or small cigar cases. Not in any particular order, but in number 1, I put the leather 2 or 3 kind of hard shell leather case from Claro. They make it in a small 2 cigar, or they make it in a larger sliding that fits 3 Toro cigars. Absolutely love these, and I have one of each. I have the 2-cigar one, and I have a Stories Green
Yeah.
3-cigar holder from Claro. Another Claro product that I love is the hard shell leather case. It folds open. It holds 8 cigars, 4 on each side. Throw a simple 8-gram Bovita pack in there, and that thing is perfect. Have one of those and love it.
Yep. Number 3 is going to be a 10 or 15 count plastic travel humidor from Lotus. That is one of our favorites.
Absolutely.
Also, you can ask your local shop if they have any local, like if they have any shop stickers or maybe some way to brand one. At our lounge, we have some different ways that we brand our, as you can see there, we can brand pretty much almost everything we have in shop. And so that's always a great question to ask.
And people sometimes cringe at me for this. So this becomes, when I'm traveling, sometimes it's my cigar humidor, but also I cut my cigars in there, and you can see I have a couple of wrappers because I was outside where it was windy. And so I will throw them in there and then clean it out a little bit later. I don't use it as a trash can per se, but it's easy just to go ahead and dump your cigars in there. But these 15 count humidors, the reality, they hold about 8 to 10, but are perfect. And oftentimes we'll just throw the cheap plastic cutter in there with them, and it makes a perfect storage device.
Yep. Sometimes I'll fit my cutter and my lighter in that one too. So that's always awesome. You can get like 10 cigars in there, maybe a smaller one like a Robusto.
Yep, absolutely.
So number 4, there is a soft shell leather 4-cigar accessory from Claro that I love. And oddly enough, when we were traveling last week, remember they were asking someone had lost their Claro case, and we could tell it was Claro because they're very recognizable, I feel like, once you have a few of their items.
Well, it was hilarious because people are asking, no, but I can tell you it's a Claro. And they're like, how do you know? I'm like, is it yours? I'm like, nope. I just know it's a Claro. It's got a unique design, and honestly, the quality is exceptional.
Yep. And then coming in at number 5 is going to be the 30 count travel cigar from Lotus.
Yep. And that's a great one. They do make it in a 50 and 75 count as well. For tonight's episode, we just wanted to highlight the 30 count. Again, these are smaller, easy gifts. If you purchase that one, you might need to wrap it and put it under the tree, but it's still something that your cigar enthusiast would love. And the reality is all of these make perfect gifts, although the hard shell leather case from Claro and the 30 count humidor, as I said, probably need to be wrapped and placed under the tree. But all of the others would easily slip into just about any size stocking. And of course, if you wanted to buy the 30 count and fit it in a stocking, they do make some big one of those at Hobby Lobby, Walmart, Target. I could probably get one to slip Mel into. Should be the perfect gift this season.
My goodness. That's sweet of you to say. But for someone who is newer to cigars or likes a variety, I would say a sample pack or maybe a custom pairing kit would work really great for them. Maybe like a 5-pack of some different cigars, mild to full, especially if they are experimenting with their palate. Or if you are just totally at a loss, you could always get them a gift certificate to their lounge and or a nice bottle of bourbon to pair with their cigars. So a couple options if you don't know if they need a humidor. And sometimes it's hard to shop for when you're shopping specific. It can be hard if you are trying to get information without it just being blatantly obvious. Like if you've never asked them about cigar stuff before, and we're getting close to Christmas, and you're like, hey, what kind of cigar humidors do you have?
Yeah.
Just curious. So, you know, you can always do a gift card.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point. A couple of years ago, your sister picked me up a bottle of Monkey Shoulder Scotch bourbon, and then she went to the local cigar shop in the city she lives and talked to the tobacconist and said, hey, my brother-in-law smokes cigars. I got him this bottle of bourbon. Can you recommend a couple of things to go with it? And she got me a Perdomo 10th anniversary champagne, and she got a Perdomo BBA Habano. And those were great cigars. I had smoked one of them before. At that point, I had not ever smoked the champagne. And so that was such a wonderful gift. It really was the perfect gift. And what made it more meaningful was she knew it was something I loved. and she wasn't scared to just give me something new. And that's something we want to encourage you. Even if they already have one of these items, I can't have too many cutters.
Yeah.
I've got 7 or 8 cigar travel humidors. I tend to go to 1 or 2 of them, but I've got several.
Yeah. And I mean, she did a great job, and she does not know anything really about cigars. She doesn't smoke cigars. And it's awesome that you still remember the cigars that she got you, because I just remember the cigars and I remember the monkey shoulder. But it's just nice. I think it's very meaningful, I think, when you have someone who knows you have a hobby and you think that it will be something they would enjoy, that maybe they wouldn't even go out and get for themselves or try for themselves.
Absolutely. So full disclosure, the monkey shoulder bottle is empty, and it's got both bands of the 2 cigars in it, and it's at the back of our bourbon cabinet. Again, it was a gift. I wanted to keep it. It's something to remember. I forget about it all the time, and I'm moving bourbon around trying to find something, and I see it, and it's a great little memory. It's a reminder of her generosity and her willingness to be generous towards something I was passionate about, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't want to throw it away. So before we move on, if you're watching live on Facebook or here on YouTube, we would love for you to put in the comments maybe a gift, maybe it was Christmas, a birthday, anniversary, cigar related that someone surprised you with, and what you thought about that. While you're doing that, Mel, let's go ahead and check in on the cigar real quick. We're probably just getting to the end of the first third. What do you think about the Sumatra Royale by the Elevated Humidor?
So I'm enjoying it, to be honest. I really am enjoying it. Sometimes when we get into our topics, it's hard for me to focus specifically on flavors, and it just kind of boils down to is it pairing well with our podcast that we're doing tonight? And I would say this one 100% is yes. The construction on it is very good. It's a little bit chilly out here, so my burn is just a hair uneven, but I think that's due to the weather.
Yeah.
But the construction is great. The flavor is very similar to when we lit the cigar for me. I do feel a little pickup in that rye and salt, just a little bit as we're getting more towards the second third. But I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the rye is still there. The saltiness is there. What I really begin to pick up a little bit is almost a little bit of light espresso, or maybe a darker coffee note.
Okay.
It's not strong. It's very light. On the retro hell, I get a little bit more spiciness. I don't retro hell a lot, or can't really retro hell a lot, but I just get a little bit. And so when I chew the smoke, I definitely get that spicier notes that's coming out of the Habano binder that's on here.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. So breaking away from that and going back to our topic, we had talked about another thing that you could get.
Yeah, absolutely. So something that is kind of, you're talking about cigars, and we talked about your sister. One thing to consider is to either get something that you know that they like, or like my gift was something new for me to experience. Either way, something that's kind of unique for that was include a small note that kind of helps tell the story of why you gifted it to them. I was with your sister when she was giving that, and so she was saying, hey, she told us the story of how she got it and why she wanted to get it, and that's one of the reasons I still have the bottle up in my cabinet. Not because the scotch was great, not because the cigars were the best I've ever had, but the story that related them to life, which was really amazing.
Yeah, and it's especially important, I think, to leave a note if you have a group of friends, or if your family does Secret Santa. So my family, we just got all the names distributed out for our Secret Santa for my parents and my siblings. And so if you don't include a note, they probably might not know who it comes from. So you got to let them know who to thank.
Yeah, so let's talk about, if they're buying cigars, what are some options?
So we talked about cigars, and I think sample packs are a great option for holiday times and for gifts. You can get a lot of lounges, a lot of humidors will have some pre-made 5-packs in there, like from Oliva, AJ Fernandez, Plasencia. There's a lot of different companies that will do that.
Absolutely. And then a lot of cigar shops, not all of them, but quite a few will have sample packs that they've put together that's got different samplers. Maybe they put a bunch of Habanos together, or maybe they put a bunch of milds or mediums. And let's be honest, sometimes those shops are going, hey, these are cigars that we've only got 1, 2, or 3 left in the humidor, and we're wanting to, and so that might be kind of they're trying to move them to make space, but they still make a really good stocking stuffer, because the best cigar is the one that you're currently smoking, and everybody loves a free cigar.
Yeah. 100%.
So getting those sample packs are really great because the shops often have them at a discount off of retail.
Yep. Another option is if you are going into a local brick and mortar, or one that you know that your cigar enthusiast friend goes to, the tobacconist there would be more than happy to help you pick out that 5-pack.
Absolutely.
And potentially, if they have log records, they can look up what they have bought in the past, so they'll know what they like. And if you can't ask the specific what kind of cigars do you like without giving away that's what you're going to get them, you can ask them, or maybe you already know like how they take their coffee, because how someone takes their coffee, if they drink coffee, says a lot about the strength that they like in their cigar. Absolutely.
And another idea is that you can also ask one of their buddies, or if they do visit a cigar shop, a particular one regularly, there's a pretty good chance that tobacconist knows their palate and what they like, what they've tried. They might even know some cigars they've eyed but never picked up because they're a little bit higher than their price range. They like to stick to under 13, but they've had their eye on the $16 or $17 cigar. Mm-hmm. Or maybe there's some house blends that they love. They're really a cheaper $5 to $8 cigar that they would really enjoy. But I can tell you this, there's nothing more, Mel, that a tobacconist would love to do than help you put together a sample pack or a care pack for the cigar enthusiast in your life. Yeah. It would just make their day.
Yeah, 100%. So now we can talk about some maybe nice to have accessories and style items. If you're thinking, I don't want to do humidor, they already have 500 cutters and lighters, they've got plenty of cigars. So these are going to be some gifts maybe that are going to add some flair. So we're talking about ashtrays, cigar themed coasters, personalized cutters, maybe some branded cases, cigar related books or magazines. If you have a female friend that smokes cigars, we also know someone who makes purses out of cigar boxes. And then there's also, those are some great options, I think, that people love those purses a lot. I mean, they think that they're cool.
They are. I think they're interesting. I don't know how else to say it. They are beautiful. They're unique. Not necessarily my cup of tea, but of course I don't carry a purse. So I
very rarely do these days as well.
I know many people saw them. Leslie saw them when we were at the expo, and I think she loved the purses that our friend made. And so definitely a great gift idea. But magazines are also a really interesting idea. There's Cigar and Spirit, Cigar Journal, Cigar Aficionado. And these are subscriptions that really are a pretty great stocking stuffer idea.
Yeah.
And the best thing is, it's the gift that gives all year long. Every couple of months, they'll get a magazine in the mail and remember how you supported their passion.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're like us, you can save them up to when you have time to read the whole thing. So when you can sit down and maybe you have a flight or something while we're traveling, and we can read 2 of them in one sitting.
Yeah, I saved several when we flew to Germany last year and read 3 different magazines on the way there and back. On this last trip, we had a couple of days where we were able to sit on the deck and look out over the ocean. Mm-hmm. On both of those days, I read the latest PCA magazine as well as the latest Cigar Aficionado. What amazing kind of thing to give to somebody, to be able to sit down and relax, enjoy a cigar, and look at a magazine about their passion.
Yep. Some other items we talked about is ashtrays. So maybe something like a stylish ceramic ashtray, or maybe one that is branded, or a lighter from your local brick and mortar like we talked about. They make custom engraved cutters. I got you one for our anniversary, which is one of the ones we do not travel with really, and it's a little bigger.
It is, and it's one of those ones that I put in a drawer to put away, and then I forget I put it there, and I've got to go back and find it. It's a beautiful stainless steel cutter. Lighter with snake skin on it.
Yeah, it's blue leather.
Blue leather.
Yep.
And it's and then it's engraved with our anniversary date, which is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, which you always remember our anniversary date. So but you do have to get kind of creative if you're going the engraving route for a cutter or a lighter, because you're working with limited space. But honestly, initials are always great. If they're your BFF, something like that's always great. Like you get creative.
And the reality is they're a little bit less about necessity and a whole lot about appreciation, right? And so across all categories, a consistent underlying thought is match the gift to the recipient's level. Either they're a beginner or novice, or maybe they're an aficionado or enthusiast. Think about their usage style. Do they like to smoke at home? Do they like to travel? And really, what is your budget? Because the budget ranges. You can go really low in the few dollars all the way up to a couple of hundred. Even small gifts can show big knowledge and thoughtfulness. One more that we didn't mention yet that I absolutely love, and someone gave it to me last Christmas, was a cigar dagger. That's a nubber. It's a tool that you stick into the end of your cigar and hold it there so that you can hold and smoke the cigar. And he got me one that was absolutely beautiful. It's in my locker at the lounge, and so I use it there. And then you and I got a couple a few years ago, and I keep that one at home. And then you got that little travel one.
Yeah, and I really like that one for me. It twists into itself, and then when you need to use it, you untwist it and kind of put it together to make it long. So it's really only probably like, when it's put together, it's only probably like 2 inches or 3 inches.
You keep it on your keychain, don't you?
Yeah, and so it's always just there when I need it, and I really like it. So
So Leslie said she loved the purses. Dwayne had mentioned he loves a magazine. He prefers paper over an ebook version any day. I agree with that.
it is different.
I listen to a lot of books when I'm traveling, but if I'm reading, I want a paper version of the book, hardback, paperback, or a magazine all day long. So we've covered a variety of topics tonight around stocking stuffers and even a few larger gifts that might really bless the cigar enthusiast in your life. And hopefully you can give some of these a little bit of thought and really this holiday bless or surprise the cigar enthusiast in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have more gift ideas to give out and discussion items when we get back. But first, let's go ahead and take a quick break.
We fell in love with cigars not because of the flavors or smoking experience or perceived status, but because it allows barriers to fall between other humans and build deeper connections. For that reason, we've been super intentional to curate a space where people can find community and enjoyment with others, and cigars just happen to be the way we're doing it. For that reason, we are thrilled to be the one and only cigar retail store and lounge in downtown Lufkin. A good story is one of the most powerful tools used to connect with another human. Sharing stories fades out differences and highlights similarities found in the details, or with the storyteller. Over the years, we have seen some of the best stories told over cigars, and thus, new friendships are made, passions shared, encouragement given, and so much more. The impact storytelling has on the human connection is why we've decided to name our store and lounge Stories. Because behind every good cigar and conversation is an even better story.
Source Elevate is a consulting firm that focuses on providing resources, insight, and experience to elevate your performances. Our team's 30-plus years of experiences in executive leadership positions provide the foundation of knowledge that we provide to our clients. Allow us to elevate your company's mission, vision, and objectives over short, mid, and long-term initiatives that drive results and source new opportunities.
As always, a thank you to our sponsors. Let's go ahead and look up our upcoming shows.
Absolutely. So we have a lot of great shows coming up, and you guys asked, and we listened, and are doing something a little different. So if you'll notice here on the screen, if you're watching, or we're going to announce it as we go through this, if you're listening on one of our podcast streams, But we have started to start adding the cigar that we're going to be smoking on that episode. So if you would like to get that cigar, you can go ahead and grab one and smoke along with us. Hopefully, some of these cigars are carried by your local brick and mortar. If not, you can always grab them at twoguyscigars.com. We don't sell online at Stories, so that's my best recommendation. So let's jump into November 17th. Just next weekend, we're going to be live back at home, travel woes and cigars. And we've had some travel woes these last 10 days or so, but preparing for holiday travel season because it is right around the corner, and we're going to be smoking McAuliffe Green.
Yes, November 24th, we are doing Thanksgiving cigars and family stories. So that's going to be Thanksgiving cigars, foods, traditions, and stories. And with that, we are going to be smoking the Atabey Black.
On December. I cannot believe we're talking December, but December 1st is to be announced. We are working on a couple of different cigar vendors, manufacturers that might be on with us. And we have a couple lined up, and we're just trying to figure out which one of them is going to be December 1st and which one's going to be in January. I apologize. We don't know what cigar we're smoking because we don't know which vendor manufacturer is going to be on with us.
Yep. Then on December 8th, we're doing cold nights, fires, and cigars. So fireside pairings for winter enjoyment. And with that one, we will be smoking the West Tampa Circle of Life. So don't miss any of those episodes. They're going to be awesome. We're in great cigar smoking season.
Yep, absolutely. Right great season. And so with that in mind, don't forget to look right down there in the bottom and click that subscribe button so you can follow along. In the next couple of days, we'll have the next several weeks of episodes posted on YouTube. You can click notify. On Facebook, you can click notify, and it will remind you, and you won't miss any of these upcoming episodes. Also, you can follow us on social media out on Facebook or Instagram at Cigar Rebels, or as always, you can join the Cigar Rebel community on Facebook where you can post pictures of the cigars you're enjoying, the whiskey or cocktails you're pairing with it, or maybe a great meal you've made to enjoy with your cigar on the deck. Although it's getting a little cold to have dinner on the deck here in Texas, it'll get a little bit warmer again. We're not too worried about that.
Yeah. So before we move on, let's go ahead and check in on the cigar. I'm a little bit further in than you, just a hair. But
yeah. No, again, it's great. I'm in this really second third now. I'm really enjoying the rye has died off a little bit. You still have that breadiness. You still have a little bit of the spice that's there. It's a little bit more of a baking spice at this point. And that espresso note is still lingering there in the background on the retro hell for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think we have talked about in past episodes, and also we have a lot of people asking us, where can they get our cigars?
Yeah, absolutely. We're super excited to announce that our cigars are live on twoguyscigars.com. You can go to twoguyscigars.com and click on what's new. And they have 7 different cigars of ours, including the Sumatra Royale that we're smoking tonight. We would highly encourage you to pick some of those up. Not sure if they're in the shops yet or not. Should be getting some feedback on the next couple of days. But we wanted to let you guys know that you can go out there, pick those up, and they can be shipped right to you. I do know I think it's $199 or more, which would be 2 boxes of our cigars. They range right around $100. The new boxes and inserts that we're launching with Two Guys, and they'll be rolling out to all other cigar shops we work with and partner with over the next few weeks, are beautiful. They have a shelf talker on the front. They have a beautiful divider. So go out there and check those out. And we would love and be honored if you would support us and them by adding one to your cart. Also, we wanted to just touch briefly, and you might have seen it on the banner here a few minutes ago, scrolling at the bottom, but the Stories Cigars and Lounge 2-year anniversary cigar dinner is live. You can go out to storieslounge.com and click on events, and there's all the information about the upcoming event that night. McAuliffe Cigars are going to be with us and doing a Q&A with Mel. We're going to have giveaways. There's going to be a big game. We have over $5,500 worth of prizes, including a BTAC bottle of bourbon as the grand prize and a $600 bottle of New Hampshire Liquor Center's barrel pick of a Willet 7-year rye. It is a spectacular bottle. We bought 2. We've already opened one. The other one we're giving away. I regret that now. I wish we were keeping it. But those are some great things going on right now. Also, if you are a Cigar Rebel follower, when you go to buy event tickets, you can put Cigar Rebel 5 to get 5% off. And you're going to get, with a $184 ticket, you're going to get dinner, drinks, a game, live music, and $169 worth of cigars. 19 cigars is what you'll get that night. So a great value. Wanted to plug that a little bit, just keep everybody updated because we've been getting asked about it. And so let's jump back to the topic.
Yeah. So we've kind of talked about when you are purchasing gifts for the cigar enthusiast in your life, there are gifts for every platform, which we have kind of talked about, and you can go budget friendly and inexpensive, or you can go all out in the premium gifts. And so we have kind of given some ideas based on just different budgets that you would want.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about under $25. Ideal for casual smokers, friends, maybe coworkers, or maybe some guys that you see at the lounge occasionally but aren't super close to. A punch cutter, a lighter bleed tool, or a multifunctional cigar poker, or maybe a small pack of humidity packs by Bovita, those 8 grams, 5 or 6 of those is a great small gift.
Yeah, 100%. So then you're going to have that $25 to $75 range, and that's going to be for the regular cigar smoker that you know well, and that could maybe be a quality guillotine cutter, a decent butane torch lighter. Make sure it is a butane torch lighter. Any lighter that you get for a cigar enthusiast, make sure it is butane. A leather cigar travel case, maybe that holds 8 cigars. You could do, a sample pack of 5 to 10 cigars.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if you want to go up from there, 75 to 150, maybe these are the buddies you hang out with often, a relative, father-in-law, father. This is really for the committed cigar smoker, maybe an engraved cutter and lighter combo, a premium travel case, or a high-end ashtray. Maybe get them a bottle of bourbon or whiskey or their favorite liqueur with a couple of cigars to pair with it. Or you could always go all out and get them a nice box of cigars and give them an entire box of something that you know that they love, or maybe something new for them to try.
Yeah, so for this price range, you could grab it between 5 and 7 luxury cigars, limited edition cigars that maybe they would not normally purchase for themselves. And total side note on that, for the limited edition cigars, we did a podcast on that 2 weeks ago,
Absolutely.
3 weeks ago. If you haven't listened to that, we have some great ideas. You can, if you don't know where to start, where limited editions are, we have some great lists on there.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing that's kind of really great about this time of year is the opportunity to kind of go out there and grab a cigar that they may not normally grab themselves. A Davidoff, a Liga Privada No. 9, a Plasencia Sixto, an Opus X Rare Pink, and then wrap it up in one of those smaller humidors, and it would still fit in the stocking or make a perfect gift under the tree.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I also think another thought is to have maybe a nice desktop humidor, one by Claro, because that's who we are so fond of, and they're going to hold 50 to 60 cigars. They make them with 100% cedar, or they have one that is a nice acrylic display humidor, and those are going to range between $99 and $149.
Absolutely. And then there's their nicer military style or their cabinets. They hold 75 to 100 cigars, and they really range between about $199 and $249. They're really the best value on the market. If your local cigar shop doesn't provide them or carry them, caseelegance.com, you can search them. We sell them at Stories, and we sell them for the exact same price they sell them on their website, which is what I love about Claro and Case Elegance, is they're committed to matching retailer pricing so that they would prefer you buy them from us, but if someone is not local to where they're carried, they want to get them in your hands.
Yes, 100%. And then an additional step, if you are like, oh man, I want it to be like maybe something unexpected for them, is, talk to a local print shop, see if they could engrave it for you, or add some sort of memento specific to that friend, that'll probably range between $15 and $20 depending on what you get.
Yeah, it's an absolutely great idea to do that. Those little gel stickers or laser engraving is such a nice touch and fairly inexpensive.
So, when picking out Christmas gifts, it's all about personalization for the person that you are shopping for. The packaging,
Absolutely.
The novelty of something that they would not buy for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a point of origin or note, maybe travel season is often December and January. Choosing accessories that work well outside or outdoor is really pretty smart and something that they'll appreciate. Like I said, we're going to do an entire episode on that coming up here next week. But what you really want to think about is wind resistant and kind of a plastic travel humidor that just does well outside. And it really goes in the car. You can throw it in the trunk when you're getting ready to leave, in the back of the truck, the back seat, wherever you're doing, and your cigars are going to be great.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think that's a great point, and it's so good to consider the story, behind the gift. Like, here's a cutter that I got for you because you once mentioned your old one was dull, or this travel humidor because you talk about bringing cigars to the beach, or like you said, it's freezing. Maybe you get them a 5-pack of cigars and a pair of gloves because they're going to Alaska or something in January, like something like that, because gloves are essential if you're going to be smoking outside when it's cold.
Absolutely. So we're getting a little long on time. Want to make sure we wrap up in the next several minutes, but let's switch gears for just a moment to cover some common missteps or things to avoid, really, so your stocking stuffers and gifts land perfectly. Mistake number 1 is buying something overly flashy but not functional. A cutter that maybe looks really cool online but functions poorly, or a lighter that uses the wrong type of fuel, as Mel mentioned, getting a butane lighter. You want quality, not just sheen and glitter.
Yes. Mistake number 2 could be assuming their style without checking first. So some smokers are going to prefer a punch over a guillotine. Some are going to be very brand loyal. Some smokers just are going to have specifics, maybe that they just can't smoke A, B, or C or something like that. So a quick question or just a casual reconnaissance pays off on that regard, and ask one of their buddies or the tobacconist, like Kevin and I had talked about earlier, if
Absolutely.
you don't want to be too obvious, or if you guys only kind of hang out occasionally. Those are some options.
Yeah, another really thing to think about is humidity and storage. If you're getting them a small travel humidor or a leather humidor, make sure you grab them a smaller 69% Bovita pack. If you're getting them a larger humidor, make sure you get them a seasoning kit or the right type of Bovita for that. You want to make sure that it's functional. What you don't want to do is grab the cigars, throw them in the humidor, wrap them up, throw them under the tree, and it's a month later before they open them, and that really dry, non-seasoned humidor or that plastic humidor with no humidity in it dries those cigars out.
Yes. And then another shopping tip would be to buy from a reputable tobacconist or retailer, especially for accessories. If you are buying online, be careful about some of those scammy, scams about, hey, I've got this one of a kind. It was 500 years old and I'm selling it for $5. And also fake websites. So just look for reviews, make sure it's a legitimate site, a legitimate person if you go that route.
Yeah, absolutely. I wholeheartedly recommend buying at your local brick and mortar, local cigar shop. Support them, let them help educate you. If you do not live near somewhere and you have to order, again, I've mentioned twoguyscigars.com a little bit earlier. Also, the undergroundcigars.com both have a great website for you to grab something and get shipped to you. You can look on Amazon and find some decent cutters and lighters. Just read reviews and make sure you're getting something that is of quality, because you just don't want to give something that's jinky, right? Really, here's a bonus tip. Many retailers often offer gift sets stocking ideas, and they would love to help you pick out cigars. If your loved one visits the local shop, as we mentioned earlier, they probably already know what they smoke or what their profile is. They might be able to look it up. And another thing, I love it when someone buys me cigars that is not something I normally smoke, and I'm trying something new. Recently, one of our buddies, you saw him on the last podcast, and he's been on 3 different ones with us, is JB. JB got me an Atabey Black for him and I to smoke recently. What an amazing gift. It is something I've never had. And we smoked it a couple of weeks ago together, and it was absolutely fantastic. I love getting new stuff. I've also gotten $6 house cigars from a shop that somebody visited, and they thought of me. Both are very appreciated. At the same level, it doesn't matter that it was a $6 cigar or a $60 cigar. It's really the thoughtfulness that counts.
Yes, 100%. So with that in mind, kind of some gifts that you got that you really enjoyed, we're going to talk about 2 of our favorite ideas, not necessarily specific brands or anything like that, but gift concepts to buy for someone.
Yeah, I would say first, a high quality travel torch lighter. It's ideal for the cigar smoker who travels, and that's really the season we're in. Second for me is a sampler pack of maybe a familiar brand, and really get one familiar brand and one kind of exploratory cigar. So just a couple of quick cigars and throw them in a bag with a Bovita pack. That's a great gift to me.
Yeah, nice. My picks, the first one is going to be a hard shell leather case by Claro that's going to hold 2 to 3 sticks, plus it's going to hold a cutter. And then number 2 is going to be a more premium ashtray that is stylish but sized well for social smoking. So it's going to be a fixture rather than just be clutter.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I love, John said, is Santa knows he was bad, so he has to buy himself a bike. I want to come up to New Hampshire and watch you pedal your way into Nashua. Now, I'm sure he means motorcycle, but, I'd still love to see him on a bicycle trying to get through the snow. But when we're talking about gifts, in both cases, the gift encourages the hobby rather than just being an add-on. And that's really what elevates it, is the thoughtfulness and the encouragement to enjoy their hobby.
Yeah, 100%. So as we're wrapping up here tonight, that's a great thought on your part. And then, to remember, a cigar session is often a moment of reflection, connection with friends, and also winding down. So a thoughtful accessory makes that moment better, not just because of utility, but because the giver understands their passion. And I should get a round of applause for that, because you're laughing and I'm looking at that comment and I am still delivering what I'm trying to say without getting thrown off here. So
sorry.
No, you're good.
It's absolutely not just the gift. It's the meaning behind it. John threw up on the screen, laughing his ass off. It's motorcycle. Totally get that. But as I said, the gift truly is the meaning behind it, the story, the thoughtfulness. I know I've said that a lot tonight, but cigar enthusiasts loves when their loved ones, when their circle of friends encourage them and get them gifts that match their hobby, like anybody who loves a good hobby.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So Rebels, whether you are giving a $25 cutter or a Claro humidor for $150, focus on the function,
Absolutely.
Personalization, as we've talked about today, and the story.
Yeah, entering the holiday season, it is our hope that you enjoy the holidays, that you take time to enjoy a premium cigar with loved ones and give some amazing gifts to encourage their hobby.
Yes. So enjoy this already in November, almost mid-November time. It is one of my favorite times of year. Thank you guys all for joining us today and for even giving your feedback on the stocking versus gift question.
Absolutely.
If you liked this episode, please leave us a review, share with your cigar friends, and hit us up with questions or anything that you might have like that. Also, we talked about on our limited release podcast, if you guys have any you want us to analyze, feel free to send those our way. I think we've gotten 1 or 2 since that podcast. So
Absolutely.
We're really enjoying that.
So next time, as we mentioned earlier, we're going to be discussing travel woes and cigars as we help you prepare for the holiday season. And then coming up shortly after that is our Thanksgiving episode with lots of great ideas for that. But for tonight, that's our show.
Yes. Thank you guys again. Don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, keep your cigars lit, your ash long, and your palate curious.
Have a good night, guys.